Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shoulder Tap. I am Jack, joined by what appears to be a hammer-wielding madman. Mick, how's it going?
Hey, I'm just here for the shoulder tap, Jack. I uh,
Ah,
I
well,
had I I brought this prop. It is a prop. Well, it's a prop right now, but I brought it into the office. I want to hang something else up on the wall in our trophy room here. But I figured with our candidates that we're going to be featuring today, you know, showing this thing a little bit relevant for the shoulder tapping. I'm
yeah.
not here to crack any skulls. It's shoulder tapping with a
No, no,
heavy
it's
hammer.
it, it's the velvet touch you have.
Oh yeah,
It's
very velvet.
implied. It's not here to crack any skulls yet, but you do have the tools if it came to that. It's not, but it
The
could.
tools are always here. The tools are always here, Jack. They are.
Well,
Um,
how are our funded traders doing today?
it's a pretty good day today, as a matter of fact. We've got more green on the board from our live group than we have red on the board. And normally, there's a lot of really good, healthy P&Ls for the day today. Normally, you hear me, share some P&Ls. So and so's up 4,000, so and so's up 5,000, that kind of thing. There's a lot of those. I would be rattling off many names today if we're going to be doing that, so I'm not going to do that. We've got some big P&Ls that I do want to mention that are tied to two of the traders that I'm going to feature today. So that's really nice. Some big profits made in the gold, and that flushed down. Also, some larger profits made in the Nasdaq as well, the equity indices. So it's a good day. It's a good Tuesday. I'm happy about that. Yesterday, I mentioned mixed bag on the board, and turned out to be a pretty good day for the group of live traders overall.
Sounds good. Heading into FOMC, of course, tomorrow. Had a little bit of a choppy day with the roll happening, but good to see some people are having some success. Now, Hammerman.
Yes, sir. Let me hammer one thing in to everybody's minds. If you are up money through end of day today, today's session, going into FOMC Wednesday, for anybody who's been watching the segment for a long time, here with Jack and I, FOMC is a day where big account balances get hurt, big profits get wiped out. So for the people that are up big today, let's make sure if you're up 20 grand or 27 grand today, you don't ride out a big position size into the FOMC tomorrow and give it all back. Because we've seen a lot of that. Uh, you know, I'm not going to rattle off dollar value examples, but we've seen a lot of that, Jack. If you're up money, it's always a good time to sit on your hands. If you're down money, don't think that a quick impulse off the number tomorrow is going to be your saving grace. Usually, I see that add a little bit more insult to injury, and things get worse.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you depend on something like that and it works out in your favor. You're going to set yourself back a little bit.
So, with that, Mick, Gabe, stop. Hammer time. Let's see what cards we got going today. Mick, who do we got first on the block?
Okay, let's pull up the card for. I had to Google how to pronounce this one. Pakanon. Pakanon. I want to talk about him. This card is a relatively ugly trading card. This accounts for 9 trading days in their live account. Um, this trader, got called up from XFA, went to live with about $30,000 in their account. As of this morning or yesterday's close, they had about 3,000 left in the account.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get into all this, so they basically lost $28,000 in 9 days. Daily loss limit, $28,000 losing streak, really bad. And earlier on, when I was crafting this card up, I was going to say, they were having a good day today. Earlier this morning, they were up like $11,000. They're flat on the day right now as far as position sizing goes. They were short some gold, and they rode that gold out. They are now up $27,000 in change on a short gold trade from this morning. They're flat now. So I'm very happy to see that one winning day was able to make up for almost all of a 9 day losing streak. But I mean, let's be honest, Jack. They lost 90% of their account in 9 days, and they had their back against the wall. If today didn't work out, and they lost today, there would have been a gravestone on this card, and we would have been talking about, which we're still going to talk about, um, you know, money management and how to start slowing these accounts. I'll tell you.
Hmm.
So Hakanan has only been trading gold, and he's been, I think he, picked a little bit of a top today. It worked out, but he's been trading it from the short side these last 10 days in his account. Um, so I have a couple trading life lessons I want to share around this, and I'm love to hear what you have to say about it, Jack. But um, a directional bias is always very good to have. We as people who are evaluating the markets and looking for what I would call price inefficiencies to buy something if we think it's low value, that it's being priced at a lower value than it should be, or sell something that we think is priced at a higher value. That directional bias is good, but we need to have the bias and still remain flexible, unless we're market makers where we don't care if we're long at the bid or short at the offer because we're looking to turn something for a tick. There's going to be a directional bias. Now Hakanan has had this directional bias that almost put him out of business. And today, I think he got very lucky catching the tiger by the tail on this pullback that the golds had on the daily chart today. So I'm very happy for him. But this is by no means a shout out. This is a shoulder tap through and through. So biases can totally put you out of business. Jack, do you have any examples from your own trading where you had a bias that you kind of fought, or you took risk around your bias and it cost you dearly? I know I do.
Oh, 100%. I basically, my exit from the trading world was by getting married to a certain curve trade and just being like, it's gotta do it. It's gotta do it. And it didn't, but eventually did. But um, yeah. And was that good? No, that was my worst trading year I've had.
Hmm.
What about
Yeah,
you?
I also had a pretty big directional bias, and I've shared this before. Now Topstep TV is a year old. I've shared it a few times, but early on, so it's been a while. I early on in my trading, and I was mostly focused on the grains. I had a pretty big directional bias in the soybeans to the short side. There was record crop growth and production and stuff like that. I was looking at one side of the coin, and I was an aggressive seller day in and day out, and I lost money every single day. It was kind of demoralizing, turning the computer on, going short, and losing four figures every single day. Got to a point where I was like, ooh, I can't do this anymore. I'm totally wrong. And I took a couple months off of trading because I was, on track to blow out, and, knowing that I wanted to make a serious, a long term career out of trading. I called it quits for a little while, which was a good thing because I think the soybeans that year, I'm 37 now, this was in my early 20s, the soybeans continued to rally like another, I don't know, $5 or something like that. I would have totally been out of business if I had continued riding that
Hmm.
bias. In hindsight, China was a huge buyer of all our soybeans and corn. So the row crops coming here out of the U.S., mostly the soybeans though, and that bias cost me a lot of money and almost cost me, a career, or shortened my career. Um, so that's my directional bias talk there.
Yeah. An important thing to remember, though, at least in my case, when I did this, there were different incentives at play where I had already been paid out at that point. I won't go into the full story of how this worked, but I had been paid out most of the money or almost all the money that I had with this particular firm. And it was kind of encouraged to kind of trade big or go home. So basically, there wasn't the same, like, I wasn't risking everything. I say this to get back to Pakanon because this this card is friggin' nuts. this is a masterpiece right here. Um,
Yeah, it is.
Let me
It's
just throw this out there. This is nine straight days of 3K losses. Does the same thing that I think we talk about every day on this, where how much money you have left has to be percent. You know, it started that was only 10% of his account. By yesterday, it was 50% of his account gone. And then on the 10th day, he got saved. Now, Pakanon, probably not watching. If you are, your luck has ran out. Okay. You got to focus right now. Like, this is one of the luckier things I have seen happen in trading. I can't believe it
totally
came down to the last day
so lucky.
and made back all the money. That is so lucky. You cannot play those odds forever, right? Get a few more winning days so you can take a payout. All right. If you're going to get reckless, at least take a payout. I've also never seen a card where I want to see the fills more, because the only thing I can see is that on one of these losing days, he was flat. I can only see the P&L high when they were flat. It was up 4,200.
Hmm.
So swung 7 grand down from that. But I have a feeling that on a lot of these other days, there were probably some pretty green P&Ls unrealized at some point. Nobody can be that good at picking losers. So you
Yeah,
won today. You have a golden opportunity. I'm going to check back in on this card.
yeah.
You
Check
have a
in with
golden
me.
opportunity.
I can keep you and all our viewers up to date on it, Jack. I'm totally with you on, string together a few smaller winning days. Don't take a lot of risk, and then definitely take a payout because, yes, on day 10 you got the horseshoe here, the four leaf clover, the luck of the Irish, whatever you want to call it, and you're almost back to whole, shy by about like $1,000. For anybody who is allowing themselves to trade like this and lacks the discipline to stop when they need to. Like in my soybean story, I stopped because I knew I was going to put myself out of business. I was trading my own money. I wasn't with a firm. I wasn't with a prop firm. And get this back. It was do or die, and I decided to walk away because I was making the wrong decision, and I needed to protect myself from myself. Um, I would love to see him take a payout. If you're willing to risk 27,000 of $37,000 in 9 days, you should be very open to not risking that money and just putting that money in your pocket via payout. So I'd like to see him do that because who knows if he's going to get another $27,000 winning day if the next 9 days are losing days. And I said it earlier, I kind of picked the top on that gold today. I think he's been picking a top all along as he's been losing money, but today it just panned out for him. Um,
Yeah.
so stopping, two things before I leave. Stopping is very important. You need to protect yourself from yourself. And then, with these directional biases, there's a term, a phrase in this industry is markets can stay irrational longer than a trader can stay solvent. So you could have that directional bias of gold's got to go down. You could get proven wrong day in and day out. Chances are you're going to lose your money before you
Hmm.
actually get proven wrong, or that's a real scenario. So I wanted to share this one with everybody. Try not to do this and catch yourself early on. Keep close eye on your metrics and how things are going. So it's good to have biases, but be flexible with that bias. I think I've kind of spent my time on this one, Jack. I
Yeah.
think we could let's move
On to
on
the next
to
one.
Omer. Omer is another shoulder tap, tapping at the shoulder here. So Omer is also in a live account, not trading too well after 23 days. I'm happy to say that at least when I turned my chair around from the desk, he was up $6,300 in the NASDAQ. I'm not sure where that's at right now or what these markets are doing since I turned away, but here's a little bit more of the same. So he is in a 100K account, not the 150K. So he's got a $2,000 daily loss limit. After 23 days, today's day 24, and he was up money earlier. 23 days, only 9% winning days. No bueno. And not only is that no bueno, I don't like it that much more because they have 58% winning trades. Of those winning trades, the risk reward's pretty bad. It is worse than a 1 to 3. So he's risking
Mm-hmm.
$160 to no, he's trying to make a he's risking $570 to make $160 on a per contract basis. That's bad. 58% winning trades is not going to get you there doing that. But also, this is daily loss limit day in and day out. There's some pretty significant losing streaks. I could just do a little eyeball or napkin math. It's like, I
One,
don't, and
two,
he
three,
traded
four,
well in the
five, six.
XFA. So started out with like 60 something $1,000 in this live account. And I mean, there's one, two, three,
Two.
four, five, six,
18 or 19? Like 18 or 19 straight days of hitting the loss limit?
19. 19. So, okay, what's going on if you have 19 losing days in a row? I mean, Jack, you and I have talked about it. If you're stringing together like two, especially 3 losing days in a row during a week, that should be telling you that your strategy is not working in the current market environment. But to have 19-day losing streak for, I mean, those are all daily loss limit of 2,000 hit. So call it 39 grand, 40 grand probably with the slippage. Like, no, please
This
don't.
this guy can't
I
stop trading. Unlike the last card, right, where I only saw the one day where they were flat and then hit the loss limit, and that was a 9-day losing streak. On this
a lot of days they're up money
19-day
that
losing
they
streak, we got
punched.
flat up 2,100, flat up 15, flat up nearly 4,000, flat up 5,500, flat up $8,579.
Get the
ELO.
hammer out. Get the hammer out. I'm going
Oh
to
my
keep this thing in
goodness.
here. I think I've got extras at home. This thing's probably, 90 years old or something like that, but I'll keep it in here as a prop for when we talk about trading activity like this. Because certainly, you know, we make the best decisions based off what we see. And, people ask, what are you looking at when you call up people from XFA to live? We try and turn over every stone. This one hurts me, and I know it hurts the risk team when we see this kind of activity happening in a live account. I think we're pretty good, but this one hurts.
Mm,
This one hurts a lot. Um,
yeah.
a- and it hurts me not because I obviously want to make good decisions, but I want to see people trading well. I hate putting someone in a live account to see them not being successful, but it's even worse when you put someone in a live account and you know they are not managing their account, their emotions, or managing anything well for that matter, which is what we're seeing here with those 19 days of $2,000 losses. Like at what point do you stop and step back a little bit from your computer, take a look at the bigger picture, and say like, holy smokes, I got to do something differently. One thing I have on the card is um, they're not trading huge size, but they're not trading one lots. And I'll tell you what, if you are not making money consistently, if that net P&L or the average daily P&L that you see on these cards or on your own trade report, if there's a negative in front of whatever that value is, trade one lots. You don't have, and over a certain sample size too. Like if you just have 2 losing days to start out, but you got some good stuff in you, you know, you have no business trading 2 lots, 3 lots, 15 lots. If you're not making money over a fair sample size of trading days, like why are you adding leverage? You shouldn't be doing that. Um,
Hmm.
I'm getting a little worked up here, Jack. Take it from me if you would. Um,
Yeah, no, it's just tough because you can see people slamming their head against a wall, but can't tell them to stop. Uh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. If you're wielding a hammer, maybe you could tell somebody to stop. Speaking of telling them to do something, Omer, you do have 5 winning days in this account. You have no payouts at the rate that you're going. Take a payout. take a payout, take a payout, take a payout, because
Needs
certainly
three more
very
winning
happy for you to,
days.
yeah, certainly to have, happy for you to have a winning day here, but take a payout. If for any trader who's willing to risk that much in the markets, be willing to put it in your pocket. And, that way, grease your pockets a little bit while you're working on getting better. We're all here to get better. We're here at TopStep to get better. We're on TV right now. We do everything that we do is to help traders get better. We want to see your success, and this stuff is hard to talk about, hard to see. We want good
I
things for everybody.
Yeah, we do. And just before we leave, I just want to know, or not know, but just point out that, we let people, I'm very nervous of what would happen here if we let them choose their own risk limit. But you can choose your own risk limit. We know that you have bought a product, so we have limited control over what we can tell you to do or not to do. And everybody wants those limits. But just know that if you were at any professional trading firm in the world on either of these cards, you would not be allowed to hit your DL that many times. You would be reduced very quickly. And if you're taking things seriously, I think that's just something to consider. Well, that was a lovely couple cards there, Mick. Good to
Yeah.
see you at least.
Well, great to see you too. But I think it was good conversation and good stuff to show. Jack, to what you were saying, we treat everybody here, our traders, as big boys and big girls, and it's this kind of stuff that uh, someone could tell you what to do or what not to do. Yes, we are not a firm where we come down with an iron fist on restrictions and, like Jack said, not let you hit your loss limit. I mean, anything that you're doing that is doesn't look that great like this is an opportunity for learning. I've said it before. I made a ton of mistakes in my trading, and I was good at making mistakes, but I was also very good at learning from them and not replicating them. So if you find yourself making all these mistakes, don't replicate them. These are fewer mistakes you're going to be making. It leaves more room for profitability. So we really put a lot on the trader. So you have to have the discipline and the drive to be getting better, and you're in control. We want the traders to have control. So
Oh,
that's
all
my
right.
take
Well,
on this one. I'll get some fun
let's
ones
be in
tomorrow,
control.
Jack.
We'll get some fun ones out there, but stick around because after this, we got group coaching with JD and Robert. Then we got Sean. God, I'm Irish. I just pronounced Sean. Can't read. Sean Sawyer is going to be here with JD and Hogue, and then closing out Power Hour with Andre Dolby, Zach B, and Hogue. So stick around. Mick, thanks again.
Thank you, Jack.
We'll be back right after this. See you then, guys.